Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So it's that time of the year again when we got to start talking about the next year, the upcoming years to come in wrestlers and where they may be in 2019, 2020, 2021 and beyond, and who could be moving around? Who can be going from one company to another? Who could be staying with a specific company? And right now, we're going to look at everything we know as far as WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact, MLW, and their certain wrestler contract situations. Now, all the info we are going to provide for you here in this video can easily be accessed at Fightful.com. We do have a link in the description that shows all of this on their website, so if you do want to see it for yourself, and not in this video or after this video, just to go back and look again, you can check that link out in the description. So first off, let's talk World Wrestling Entertainment. So first off, Jim Ross. His contract with the company does expire in March of 2019, as WWE did sign him to a new deal a few years back, was going to use him sparingly over those next couple of years. They used him a couple of times in 2019, but to my knowledge, my recollection, never used him in 2018, and his contract will expire March 2019. Next up, we do have Paige. Paige, who has quote-unquote been retired by the WWE and is now the SmackDown Live general manager. Her contract does expire next year. Now, we don't know exactly when next year her contract does expire, but she is done with the company, or could be done with the company in 2019. We know Paige is venturing off in other things outside of wrestling. She's got her own clothing brand, her own clothing store, and she just started her own makeup line. So it's unknown if Paige will stay with the WWE past her contract expiring in 2019. But if they're only going to have her as a manager or a general manager, maybe she stays, but I don't see it likely. Now, next up, we do have Mauro Ranallo. Mauro Ranallo's contract does go through June of 2019. Mauro is exclusively working for NXT, as when he kind of left last time with the WWE, he did state he did not want to go back and work with the main roster. He does like working with Triple H and William Regal and Michael Cole and them down there in NXT. So we'll see if he does continue to be the NXT announcer or if he does other things, because he's a man of many talents as far as announcing. He does wrestling, he does MMA, he does boxing, so we'll see if Mauro sticks around. So also expiring in 2019 is Stephanie McMahon. According to Fightful.com, her contract as a on-screen talent expires October 7th, 2019, and it's going to be extended. Stephanie McMahon. So next up, we do have Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose's contract is set to expire in late 2020. Mandy Rose has been loving her time with the WWE. WWE has loved working with Mandy Rose. We've seen her grow tremendously since Tough Enough, so I see possibly her sticking around. Another contract that does expire in 2020 is Mojo Rawley. WWE is not really doing much with Mojo. Mojo hasn't really talked much about, if he's happy with WWE, if he's not happy with WWE, and we don't know exactly when in 2020 his contract does expire, but it is sometime in 2020. And the final contract that expires in 2020 is Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's contract with the WWE does expire October 2020. Now, with that, he does have a clause that can actually get him out of his contract at the 18-month mark. Now, with Rey Mysterio having this 18-month out clause, that essentially means if he wants to leave early, he can leave as early as, I believe it's not October 2020, it's April 2020. Finally, within the WWE, we do know that The Miz is signed on till 2022, and Kevin Owens signed a new 5-year deal this year that leads him all the way into April 2023. Moving on, we've got Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're lumping these two together because a lot of their contracts kind of work together and a lot of their guys do kind of mesh. So we'll talk about, first off, Cody Rhodes. Cody's contract actually did expire at the end of this past August, but he has agreed to work through the end of the year with New Japan Pro Wrestling. There's some rumors going around of where he could be going or not going. at the end of the year, and that also leads us to the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, as everyone knows, did re-sign last time with Ring of Honor and New Japan as like a co-joint deal in December of 2016, so their contracts also go to the end of this year as well. Another one is Hangman Page. Hangman Page's contract reportedly goes through the end of the year. According to Dave Meltzer, he did state that Ring of Honor did offer Page a new contract, and Page did turn it down. Page has also been offered a contract by the WWE, and he has turned them down as well. Next up, we do have Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels is signed on through 2018, and reportedly, he has not re-signed with the company. On the same note is Kazarian, Frankie Kazarian, Daniels' tag team partner, also signed through 2018 and again has not signed a new deal with the company. Next, also signed through 2018 is the current Ring of Honor World Champion, Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal has said in the past that he loves working for Ring of Honor, that, going somewhere like a quote-unquote WWE is not like a end-all be-all for him. If he never makes it there, he never makes it there. If he spends his entire rest of his career in Ring of Honor, he wouldn't be upset either. So we'll see if the current world champion signs on past the end of the year as well. Next up, signed on through the end of 2018 is also Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor is one of those, I guess you can call him I don't want to offend him, but I guess you can call him a utility worker for Ring of Honor. He can go out there and put on great matches with basically everybody, but he's not a guy that they're going to elevate and push as a champion or a top level guy that we see with others like a Marty Scurll, like maybe a Kazarian or Daniels. So we'll see what happens. Shane Taylor, like I said, his contract does run through the end of 2018. Next up, we do have Kenny Omega. We do know that Kenny Omega's contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling does run till the end of January 2019. He signed a new contract at the end of last January, only signing a one-year deal. Now, next up, the interesting one is Marty Scurll. There are some differing reports on this. Some say that, his contract does expire in springtime 2019, and some are also saying his contract expires probably around April 2019. So that's the springtime. It's about right. We know that reportedly, according to Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer, that his contract was supposed to expire in the fall of this year with the Ring of Honor, and he signed a 6-month extension. So that would lead him to about April 2019, going all the way to the, Madison Square Garden show WrestleMania weekend. Next up with Ring of Honor, we do know that Madison Rayne signed a one-year deal a couple months back, and her contract does expire in September of 2019. Madison Rayne has had a good 2018. I mean, she's worked for Impact Championship match. She's worked for Ring of Honor or Woman of Honor Championship match. Signed a one-year deal with Ring of Honor, and she was even in this year's second annual Mae Young Classic. Next up, we do got Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon's contract with Ring of Honor does go until 2020. So I believe it's like early 2020 when his contract's going to expire. Don't quote me on that, but according to Fightful.com, Flip Gordon's contract does run until 2020. And next up, we've got Michael Elgin. His contract does expire in January 2020. And Elgin, he is somebody we've seen pushed to an extent in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's been a champion there. He's had the Never Openweight title and whatnot. He's had the IC title, but he's never been positioned as a big top guy. Michael Elgin loves working in New Japan. He's said that multiple times, so we'll see if he extends past January 2020. And finally, Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi is working for New Japan Pro Wrestling, but he's a quote-unquote freelancer as he's working without a contract, so he can leave and go and do whatever he wants at any time. Next up, we've got Impact Wrestling. The only thing we know about Impact Wrestling contracts is that Moose's contract goes till July of 2020. Next up, Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground just wrapped up Season 4 on the El Rey Network. We don't know if they're going to do a Season 5, and Pentagon has a contract where he can leave after Season 5. Similar to his brother Phoenix. Phoenix is also signed on where he has an out clause at the end of Season 5 as well. And finally, we're going to talk Major League Wrestling. So we do know within Major League Wrestling, Pentagon Jr. is signed through 2019. His brother Phoenix is also signed on through 2019, and Selena, their manager, signed on through 2019. And finally, Shane Strickland, his contract with MLW does run till June 2020. So those are all the known contract expiration dates and whatnot going forward with WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, Lucha Underground, and MLW. A lot of things are going to happen, especially within Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has a good number of contracts that expire at the end of the year with top guys, the Bucks, Cody, Hangman, Jay Lethal. So we'll see where this all goes, where guys position themselves going forward once their contracts do expire, whether they stay with the company they're with now or whether they leave. And for all the latest, follow us right here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And if you want to know more on contracts expiring within specific wrestlers, well, check out the link in the description below to the article on Fightful.com. But that's going to do it for this episode of Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember to comment below, like and share this video, like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, subscribe here on YouTube, and follow PWUnlimited.net for the latest in pro wrestling news.